Okay, real talk. You've bitten into a chocolate bar, hit a nut, and thought, wait, what even is that? Was it a hazelnut, an almond, some random thing they found in a warehouse? Here's the thing. The nut inside your chocolate, it's not random. It's one of the most deliberate decisions a chocolatier makes. Different nuts bring completely different flavors, textures, fat content, and roasting profiles that either elevate a chocolate bar or absolutely destroy it. Today, we're going nut by nut. Every single one used in chocolate, where it comes from, why it works, and honestly, which ones are overrated. Let's go. Hazelnut? If chocolate had a best friend, it's the hazelnut. Full stop. Hazelnuts and chocolate have been together since the 1800s, when a chocolatier in Turin, Italy, was trying to stretch his cocoa supply during a shortage. He ground up roasted hazelnuts, mixed them into chocolate paste, and accidentally invented Gianduja, the ancestor of literally everything you love. Nutella? Gianduja. Ferrero Rocher? Gianduja. Kinder Bueno? You already know. So why do hazelnuts work so well with chocolate? It comes down to fat. Hazelnuts are about 60% fat, mostly oleic acid, the same fat in olive oil. And when you roast them, they develop these deep, almost buttery, slightly earthy flavors that mirror the natural flavor compounds already in dark chocolate. They're not competing, they're harmonizing. The best hazelnuts for chocolate come from Turkey and the Piedmont region of Italy. Piedmont hazelnuts, called Tonda Gentile, are smaller, rounder, and more intensely flavored. They're the reason Italian chocolate tastes different from everything else.
Almond. The almond is the reliable, well-dressed friend who shows up to every party. Never the most exciting person in the room, but always welcome. Almonds and chocolate go back centuries. They show up in marzipan, in pralines, in those chocolate-covered almond tins your grandma kept on the coffee table that you were definitely not allowed to touch. What makes almonds work? They're mild. Their flavor is subtle, slightly sweet, slightly woodsy, so they don't fight the chocolate. They just support it. They also have a firm, satisfying crunch that contrasts perfectly with the snap of a good chocolate shell. Whole roasted almonds? Perfect. Sliced almonds? Good for texture. Almond paste completely transforms into something rich and almost floral. The real flex move is smoked almonds in dark chocolate. That smokiness against 70% dark cocoa? Absurdly good. Underrated combo. Pecan. Now we're getting into American territory. Pecans are native to North America, and they became the defining nut of Southern American confectionery. The classic example? The turtle. A cluster of pecans covered in caramel and then dipped in chocolate. Simple. Perfect. Impossible to eat just one. Pecans are softer than almonds. They have more fat, which makes them buttery and almost melt into the chocolate tender. They don't give you a hard crunch. They give you a yielding, rich bite that works especially well with milk chocolate and caramel. They're also slightly bitter in a really good way. That natural tannin in the skin adds just enough edge to balance sweetness. Pistachio? Pistachio is having a moment right now. And honestly, it's been deserving this moment for years. Pistachio's natural flavor is unique. It's buttery, slightly sweet, faintly grassy, with this almost creamy quality that pairs insanely well with white chocolate and milk chocolate. The green color also just looks luxurious, which is half the battle in confectionery. The rise of Dubai chocolate, that viral pistachio and kanafe filling inside thick chocolate shells, brought pistachio into the mainstream conversation in a big way. And now every brand is scrambling to do a pistachio version of everything. Here's the catch. Real pistachio flavor is expensive. A lot of mass-market pistachio chocolate uses artificial flavoring. If your pistachio chocolate doesn't actually taste like pistachios, that's probably why.
Walnut. Walnuts are the complicated one. On their own, walnuts can be quite bitter. That comes from juglone and tannins in the skin. But inside chocolate, that bitterness actually becomes an asset. It cuts through sweetness, adds depth, and gives dark chocolate a kind of bold, almost wine-like quality. Walnuts are common in baking chocolate applications, brownies, cookies, chocolate bark, more than in molded bars, because their rough texture and oiliness don't always work well when you need clean snaps and precision. They're also incredibly high in omega-3 fatty acids, which means they go rancid faster than other nuts. Stale walnut in chocolate is genuinely unpleasant. Freshly roasted walnut in good chocolate? Completely different experience.
Macadamia.
Macadamia nuts are the luxury option, and they know it. Native to Australia, but now grown extensively in Hawaii, macadamias are the richest, creamiest, most buttery nut on this list. They have the highest fat content of any nut, around 75%, and almost no starch. The result is this melt-in-your-mouth, velvety texture that pairs almost too perfectly with white chocolate. The white chocolate macadamia pairing is so iconic because both are rich, creamy, and mild. They don't compete, they amplify each other into something almost indulgent, to the point of being overwhelming, which is exactly why people...
Peanut. Okay, the peanut. Technically a legume, not a nut. Yes, we all know, you can relax. But it's earned its place in the chocolate world many times over. Peanuts bring something none of the other nuts do. Savory. That roasted, salty, slightly funky flavor cuts through sweetness like nothing else. It's the reason Snickers and Reese's are two of the best-selling chocolate products in history. So here's the takeaway. Every nut brings something different. Fat content, texture, flavor contrast, bitterness, creaminess. The best chocolatiers aren't just throwing nuts into chocolate. They're building flavor relationships, matching the intensity of the cocoa to the character of the nut, deciding whether you want crunch or creaminess, mild or bold, buttery or bitter. Next time you eat a chocolate bar with a nut in it, you'll know exactly what they were going for. And now you can judge whether they pulled it off. Which nut and chocolate pairing do you think is the most underrated? Drop it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. And look, we can't leave without a quick mention of the ones that almost made the main list. Cashews. Creamy, mild, almost sweet on their own. Show up in chocolate occasionally, especially in Asian confectionery markets. They don't have a strong identity in chocolate yet, but they should. Massive potential. Brazil nuts? Huge, selenium-rich, slightly waxy texture. You either love them or you're quietly removing them from the Christmas mixed nut tin and saying nothing. In chocolate, they're bold, almost coconutty. Rare to see them as a hero nut in chocolate, but they show up in premium dark bars from South American brands. The chocolate world hasn't fully figured out these two yet, which means there's still room for someone to make them iconic.